The Adventurer's Log 1.1201.20. Hi, I'm Bobby. I'm your host, and today we're going to be talking about the 2020 movie Tesla. But before we get to that, let's get into this day in tech history. On December 1st, 1913, Henry Ford installs the first moving assembly line for the mass production of an entire automobile. His innovation reduced the time it took to build a car from more than 12 hours to 1 hour and 33 minutes. The most significant piece of Ford's efficiency crusade was the assembly line. On December 1st, 1971, the Project Gutenberg is launched. Michael Hart, founder of what is now known as Project Gutenberg, launches the project by making his first posting, the Declaration of Independence. Now known as the father of ebooks, earlier in the year, Hart had been given an operator's account on a mainframe at the University of Illinois, where he was a student. Having been given highly valuable computer time when few people had such opportunity, he decided to begin a project that would digitize and electronically preserve public domain books and texts and make them freely available. The Xerox Sigma V mainframe, or 5, mainframe at the Materials Research Lab at the University of Illinois just happened to be one of the first 15 nodes on the early ARPANET, the beginning of the modern internet. The ability for anyone connected to this network to download information was a major inspiration for Hart to begin the Project Gutenberg. On December 1st, 1996, American Online launches a new subscription plan offering their subscribers unlimited dial-up internet access for $19.95 a month. Previously, AOL charged $9.95 a month for 5 hours of usage. The new plan brought in over 1 million new customers to AOL within weeks, and daily usage doubled among subscribers to a whole 32 minutes per day. This huge increase in usage overloads AOL's infrastructure, with the result being that many of their subscribers could not access the service. Class action lawsuits were filed by angry subscribers who could no longer access the service they were paying for. Regardless of their trouble, by offering unlimited internet access for a reasonable fee, AOL helped facilitate increased adoption of internet usage among a public still becoming acclimated to the information superhighway. And finally, on November 1st, 1999, the domain name business.com sells for $7.5 million. At the time, it was the most expensive domain name sold in history and still ranks in the top 10 all-time most expensive domain names. So, that is today's tech history. So let's get into our film. So, the 2020 film Tesla. Let me get to it real quick. It is on early access on Amazon, all of that. So this is a freewheeling take on a visionary inventor, Nikola Tesla. His interactions with Thomas Edison and J.P. Morgan's daughter Anne, and his breakthroughs in transmitting electrical power and light. I will say it is a very dramatized version of true events. Some are historically accurate and others are done for the film to pizzazz it up. It does have Ethan Hawke, who plays Tesla, Eve Hewson, who plays Anne Morgan, Kyle MacLachlan, who plays Edison, and Jim Gaffigan, who plays Westinghouse. It is set between 1884 and roughly 1905. It actually opens with a unique story about how Tesla discovered his interest in electrical science. About how, as a kid, he was holding and petting his cat, and he saw electrical, static electricity on between his hand and the cat, and that's from what this movie says. What started him. There's an interesting story that in the film Edison talks about. As a young boy, he and his best friend George Lockwood went swimming or went out, and he saw his friend drown and went back home and didn't say anything to anybody, and the whole town was looking for him. And it I don't know why they put it in there, but it definitely adds a unique aspect of Edison that had not really been talked about in films before. To me, I feel like they added it just to give an air of humanity to Edison, because he was always seen as such a harsh and rough person. So, yeah. Tesla is talking about Edison at one point, and he says, Edison talks, but never listens. So in the film, the narrator is Anne Morgan, supposed to be the daughter of J.P. Morgan. And she breaks the fourth wall constantly by bringing out a laptop and a projector and, showing different different Google images of the different people in the film. I don't know. It was okay. It's a unique way of telling a story, but I feel like they just kind of did it just for the fun of it. Not the greatest plot device in a film. It definitely does talk more about Tesla's history after leaving Edison's company, a topic that was just brushed by in the Current War film that I reviewed a few weeks ago or whatever. The sequence of timeline is pretty accurate with Tesla and Edison and J.P. Morgan and Westinghouse. So it's definitely a dramatized biography. It does touch on Tesla's OCD issues and the possibility that he was schizophrenic, because it is well documented that he would talk to people who weren't there. Not to the extent of high level schizophrenia, but more of, I don't know. It's hard to explain. But it does also touch on Edison's hearing issues in this film, and the fact that he was at least half, if not completely deaf. That is mentioned in history, that he had hearing issues, but is never really touched on in previous films. So I found that pretty unique. What is odd is Tesla doesn't drink at all in the film. If he does, it's very short and it's more of a sip. But the unique thing is Tesla was well known for drinking an expensive scotch daily. He thought since it killed germs, it would help him live to 150. So there, with the history of Tesla, it talks about the fact that Tesla's sexual orientation. I know it's an odd thing to put into a sci-fi film review, but he did have a very close relationship with his engineer Anthony Zaghetti, but it is unknown if it was more than a platonic or not. Anne Morgan, the daughter of J.P. Morgan, was truly in love with Tesla, but there are no records of reciprocity between them, but more akin to a schoolgirl crush. And it definitely touches it. I wish they would have gone more into it, but it definitely talks about Tesla's personal opinion with the paranormal. There are well documented stories, history of Tesla where he talks about the paranormal and talks about aliens and just the odd opinions he had. They very lightly touch on it, and I feel like they should have done more. In this film, there's a interaction between Tesla and Edison where they meet after the big Chicago World's Fair that Edison admits he was wrong about alternating current. That never happened. Edison was too prideful to ever admit he was wrong. So I don't know. It's a unique film, albeit fantastical and over exaggerated at times. Because of the current nature of films right now and the current nature of our society right now with the whole pandemics, all that, this film would have flopped in theaters. They probably have made, I don't know if they're going to make back what they've spent on the film, but there's definitely some unique scenes in it that if the whole film had been done a little better, probably could have put it, higher up. But I've always said in this that I'm going to be very positive. For the story, it is fantastic. But for the film basis, if you're going to separate the story itself from just the film is terrible. It's definitely not in the realm of other dramatized biography movies like Pursuit of Happiness or Beautiful Mind or all of those that everybody has come and known as, okay, that is a dramatized biography, but it's very good. This is going to be low on that list. There are unique points in there where the main characters are in front of just what looks like a painted screen. So we see Tesla looking out over Niagara Falls, and it's a painted backdrop. Granted, it's probably CGI, but it's a painted backdrop. Or when he's in Colorado doing his Tesla coil experiments, there's a painted backdrop of the Colorado scene, fields or whatever, and storms and lightning and all that, but it's definitely in front of a green screen. And it's unique. It probably helped them save a lot of money on the film. And it's well done. Because it's not just a static background like this. It's kind of a very slow moving background behind him. So there are things about this movie that I find enjoyable. But again, not the greatest movie. But check it out, But it does cover the times after the current war between Edison and Westinghouse, which there haven't been that many films that touch on that, or many films that touch on Tesla alone. So for a story, for one of the first full movies about Tesla, Nikola Tesla, as opposed to the car Tesla, it is unique. And I'll definitely say it's the better, but there's not much to judge it against. So check it out. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. All right. Take a chance and explore something new or old, but new to you. Adventure is out there. Go find it. I'll see y'all next time.